At the start of the year I decided to take part in the 2015 reading challenge to get me branching out on my reading different genres, different authors, as well as mixing in some books from my TBR. Speaking of my TBR, at the start of the year I also decided that by the end of the year I wanted to have 0 books on my TBR, and it's not going too good. Currently, if you count the book that I'm reading at the minute, I have 44 books on my TBR. I can't do it. I just can't resist buying books. It's so hard. Even if there is nothing out that I particularly want to read, I can go into a bookstore and just find something and go, I'm taking it. So I decided that until I get down to at least 30 books on my TBR, I was on a ban. That's it, no more books buying. But as you can tell from the title of this video, that's not going too well. September is a ridiculously good month for books. Like, I feel as if all the publishers got together and went, you know, these books, let's just all release them in the same month. Let's just do it, let's go for it. Some of my most anticipated books for September I have here and I'm going to be talking about in this video. Some I haven't got yet because they're not out. Hollering at You, Ransom Riggs. I decided that this month I would limit myself just to the one September book. So I looked at all of the ones coming out and decided I was going to get All of the Above by James Dawson. However, it was sold out on Amazon. Most places online it was sold out and I was like, crap. So I went into my nearest bookstore and asked if they had it in, and they didn't, so they had to order it in for me, and I was like, fair enough, I'll just wait and I'll come back when you let me know that it's in stock. But then I decided to have a look around the bookstore, and then this happened. I picked up a copy of Asking for It by Louise O'Neill. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this about my thoughts because I actually read this within like 2 days of buying it, so that will be in my wrap up. But this, as you can tell from the title, Asking for It, it deals with a very serious topic of rape, victim blaming, and the issues with consent, not just in society but especially among teenagers. The story follows a girl called Emma who goes to a party, and she wakes up the next morning on her porch and she has absolutely no memory of what happened or how she even got home. And then pictures and videos start appearing on Facebook and she starts to piece together what happened. It's a very difficult read, so if you're affected by anything that I mentioned in the way of rape and victim blaming and consent, I probably wouldn't read this because there are a lot of very explicit themes in this, especially if you're younger. It is a very mature young adult book and the scenes are very graphic, so I would probably give this a miss if you're affected by that. I said I looked up a list of all the books coming up in September, but clearly I didn't do a very good job because I completely missed this, and I have no idea how I completely missed this, but Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas, which is the 4th book in the Throne of Glass series, and I still haven't started this yet, and I'm genuinely like afraid because after what happened in Heir of Fire I was like, I kind of need to take a break, but then I was like, I can't not buy the book. I'm just very intimidated by this book, and I'm doing alright avoiding spoilers at the minute, but I probably should get around to this soon, but it is like 600 pages, it's ridiculous. Also, Throne of Glass is going to be made into a TV show. I'm so excited for it to become a TV show. I have like no idea who could possibly play Selena or any of the characters, but I am just so stoked, and I hope that this is something that they do actually make and it's not the TV rights have been bought and then it just never happens. Next, I picked up the Copper Gauntlet, which is the 2nd book in the Magisterium series, and it's by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. I'm kind of annoyed with these books because the first one in the UK edition was a big shiny hardback one, and then they released the paperback versions, and now this is the only versions of them you can get, so they don't really match up with the Iron Trial book. But this is middle grade fiction, and I'm so excited to continue with this series because it's about a boy called Callum Hunt who has to do all training and tests to get into this magic school, but he doesn't want to go to magic school, so he tries to flunk all of the tests in the first book, and by doing that he somehow ends up going to the magic school, so I'm interested to see where this book goes. Then I finally got my text message from Waterstones telling me that my book was in and I could come and collect it, and that is All of the Above by James Dawson. Now, if you don't know who James Dawson is, what are you doing? James Dawson is such, not just a good writer, but just a good person. He does a lot of stuff for promoting LGBT characters and topics in fiction, and this book, All of the Above, explores a character called Toria who starts at a new school, and she becomes friends with this girl who introduces her to this typical rock star guy, and she starts having feelings for him, and you can kind of think, oh, it's going to be that stereotypical she's going to get with the rocker guy, but oh no, it turns out she fancies him, but she also fancies Polly. Finally, some like bisexuality in young adult fiction. It makes me so happy because so often in LGBT fiction it's about lesbians or gays or trans, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing in any way, but it's nice for the B in LGBT to finally be brought out as the focus for a book, so I am so excited for this one. The last one I succumbed to buying on my Kindle again. I got Dumpling by Julie Murphy, which I've heard a lot of things about on BookTube and in the book blogging world. It's about a girl called Willow who is a fat character, and she decides to take part in a beauty pageant. And from what I've seen of reviews so far, it seems to be a very good book about self-love and all that kind of thing. And I'm really excited to read it, so got that one on my Kindle. Remember how I said I was on a book buying ban, and also said that I was going to branch out on what I read this year? Everything that I've shown you in this haul is young adult or middle grade fiction. If you want advice on how to not buy books, I am not the person to go to. That's it for my book haul this month. Let me know in the comments if you've got any of these books or you've read any, and let me know your most anticipated September releases, what your favourite book is of September, or what you're currently reading. Let's just talk books.